Well, good morning, and I want to wish everybody a happy Sabbath. This week in the Sabbath Quarterly, they're studying Deuteronomy, and I admit I haven't, I haven't stayed up with it, but the Lord brings me just what I need when I need it. And in Deuteronomy, there's a reoccurring theme in the beginning, and it talks about how Israel, his people, was tested over and over again. And the reason why God does that is not because he's here to torture us. It's because he wants to see us be successful, and he wants us to trust him. He's trying to teach us how to persevere, how to have the faith of Abraham or Abram. And so he will bring the trial back and back and back. Deuteronomy 2, and it's God's perfect timing. Because as I climb this insurmountable hill this morning, and this just goes straight up. And I don't know about you, but I gotta share. Ever since coming here to Black Hills, back to Black Hills, we have been faced with insurmountable obstacles. Me and Chris, we have this beautiful ministry. And maybe you have something that is just facing you right now. I don't know what your challenge is. I don't know, but I'm just telling you that I have a challenge. Chris has a challenge, and we're facing it right now. You may be being called out of your comfort zone. Maybe the Lord is testing you again in this, and it just keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. In Deuteronomy 2, I mean, it's beautiful because what happens in Deuteronomy 2, and I want to read this to you, is Og and Shinon, the people, were brought to a test that their fathers had signally failed. Now, this is what God does, and I see what he's been doing lately. And I'm not sure if this is happening in your life, but I got to share this. God will retest you over and over and over and over again. And the reason why he's testing you over again is because he wants to teach you that you can trust him. He wants to be the Lord of your life. And until you recognize that he is the Lord of your life, he's so patient. He's gonna retest you, and then there's going to be a time when the testing's gonna stop, and he's gonna withdraw, and he will. But he's long suffering, and he loves you. So I've seen personally these tests coming again and again and again, and I'm beginning to recognize like the Lord is doing this purposefully. It says here when it comes to Deuteronomy 2. It says, in their contest with Og and Shinon, the people were brought to the same test, beneath which their fathers had so signally failed. But the trial was now far more severe than when God had commanded Israel to go forward. The difficulties in their way had greatly increased, since they refused to advance when bidden to do so in the name of the Lord. It is thus that God still tests his people. Now listen to this. If they fail to endure the trial, he brings them again to the same point. And the second time, the trial will come closer and be more severe than the preceding. This is continued until they bear the test, or if they are still rebellious, God withdraws his light from them and leaves them in the darkness. Those are powerful words. God is bringing you the test again because he wants you to succeed. If you find yourself again in the same place, he doesn't want you to be rebellious. He wants you to succeed. He wants you to move forward. He wants you to move forward in him, in trust and in faith, like Abraham. Abraham didn't just believe in God. He believed God. And that's a big, because believing in God, even the demons believe in God, but to believe God is a completely different thing. And Abraham is a beautiful example in Deuteronomy. And you know, the beautiful thing about Abraham is he had doubts. You know, he had all the materials in the world. I mean, he had riches, gold and silver and cattle, yet he didn't have a son. And he's like, God, that's great that you've given me all these things, but I need a son. And he was honest with God. He was transparent with God. And God just told him, this is what I'm going to do. But Abraham also had to walk out of duty in obedience. And we are called to do the same thing. When God calls us to do something, He's testing us. He's testing our obedience. He's testing us to see if we love Him above all things, that we will trust Him in all things. And when we fail that test, He's so merciful, He'll come around again and again and again. Now listen to this. The Hebrews now remembered how once before, when their forces had gone to battle, they had been routed and thousands slain. But they had then gone in direct opposition to the command of God. They had gone out without Moses, God's appointed leader, without the cloudy pillar, the symbol of the divine presence, and without the ark. So when we do that, trying to do things in our own strength, and we're going out and we're not listening to the Lord, and we're taking things into our own hands, this is what happens. The cloudy pillar is removed. The cloudy pillar is removed. We need Moses, and Moses there was an antitype of Jesus. So, you know, we have to put our trust in Jesus to go before us, and Jesus has already fought the battle. He's already won the battle. It is so easy for us just to follow, and yet we don't. We don't. Listen to this. It says, but now Moses was with them, strengthening their hearts with words of hope and faith. The Son of God, enshrined in the cloudy pillar, led the way, and the sacred ark accompanied the host. This experience has a lesson for us. I want you to listen to this. The mighty God of Israel is our God. In Him we may trust, and if we obey His requirements, He will work for us as signal a manner as He did for His ancient people. Everyone, listen to this, everyone who seeks to follow the path of duty will at times be assailed by doubt, by obstacles and unbelief. The way will sometimes be barred by so many obstacles, apparently insurmountable, as to dishearten those who will yield to discouragement. But God is saying to such, go forward. Do your duty at any cost. The difficulties that seem so formidable, that fill your soul with dread, will vanish as you move forward in your path of obedience, humbly trusting in God. So I'm asking right now, where are you at? Is this trial, this path that is before you, insurmountable, or are you seeing what the Lord is doing? And are you able to accept what the Lord is doing? He's just taken away that rocky trail, but you have to allow Him to do it. You have to allow Him to flatten the plain. Go out in your call of duty. He's testing you again to see what you will do. All you have to do is go forward. Just go forward. He's got you in the palm of His hand.